You can't stop overthinking. You already know this. It's 11 at night. The conversation ended 4 hours ago. The email got sent, the decision got made, and your brain is still in there, pacing, rerunning it, going, but what if? It's stealing hours of your sleep, weeks of your year, and a frankly embarrassing amount of your one short life. And it does this every single night. Here's the part nobody tells you, though. Your brain isn't broken. Your brain thinks it's helping. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what it's trying to protect you from, and why it won't stop even when there's nothing left to protect. Because that's the weird thing about overthinking. It doesn't feel like a malfunction. It feels productive. It feels like you're solving something. If I just think about this one more time, I'll figure it out. So you think about it one more time, and one more time, and one more, and nothing gets solved. The wheel just spins. You're not getting closer to an answer. You're just getting more tired, with the exact same problem you started with. So why does your brain keep doing the thing that obviously isn't working? Fair warning before we dig in. This is a psychology channel for curious humans, not therapy, and I'm a doodle guy, not your doctor. That's the whole channel, by the way. Overthunk. We figure out why your brain does the deeply unhelpful thing it does. Subscribe and your brain finally gets the user manual it never came with. Okay, back to the wheel. Let's start with how much of your life this actually eats. In 2010, two Harvard researchers, Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert, published a study in the journal Science with maybe the most quietly brutal title in psychology. A wandering mind is an unhappy mind. Here's what they did. They built an app that pinged thousands of people at totally random moments, all day long, in the middle of whatever they were doing. And it asked 3 simple things. What are you doing right now? What are you thinking about? And how do you feel? No lab, no clipboard. Just real people, caught in the act of being alive. At work, on the bus, eating lunch, lying in bed. And the number they got back is the number I want living rent-free in your head for the rest of this video. 46.9%. Almost half of your waking life, your mind is not on what's actually happening in front of you. Sit with that for a second. Roughly every other moment of your one and only life, you are not really in it. You're somewhere else. Replaying a conversation from yesterday, pre-playing one that hasn't happened yet, chewing on a problem that isn't even in the room with you. The body is washing the dishes. The mind is 3 days in the future, losing an argument it invented. And here's the punchline that made the study famous. The more your mind wandered, the less happy people were. Even when it wandered to pleasant things, even when the daydream was nice, they were still less happy than the people just doing their plain, boring thing. But the part that really matters is the timing, because the researchers could actually see the order it happened in. The wandering came first, and the dip in mood came right after, not the other way around. So overthinking isn't just a symptom of being unhappy. The overthinking was helping cuss it. So nearly half your life, partly miserable, spent thinking about stuff that isn't even happening. Cool hobby, brain. Why would evolution build something that does that? This is where it flips. Because that wandering, looping, what-if machine, it wasn't built to make you happy. It was built to keep you alive. I'm going to call it the threat simulator, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Picture your ancestor, 40,000 years ago. The ones who survived long enough to become your great-great-great-whatever grandparents were not the chill ones. The chill caveman who heard a rustle in the grass and went, probably nothing. That guy got eaten. He's not your ancestor. Your ancestor is the one who heard the rustle and instantly ran the simulation. What if it's a predator? What if it comes from the left? What if I run? Where do I go? What if it's already seen me? That mental rehearsal, playing out the worst case before it happens, that WAS survival. The brains that simulated danger in advance lived to pass it on. The brains that didn't. So you inherited the simulator. Every single one of us is descended from the world champions of worrying. The threat simulator has one job: find the danger, run every version of it, and prepare you before it arrives. And for 100,000 years, that was elite survival hardware. The problem isn't the simulator. The problem is what we pointed at now. Because here's the modern bug. You don't have predators anymore. You have unread messages. You have, we need to talk. You have a decision with no obvious right answer and a coworker who said sure in a tone you didn't like. And the threat simulator does not know the difference. A rustle in the grass and a passive-aggressive K both light up the exact same circuit. same alarm, same adrenaline, same prepare for the worst. So it fires up, runs the simulation, plays out every version. And this is the part that traps you. It feels like work. It feels like you're handling it. It feels responsible, even. Like the people who don't lie awake analyzing are somehow getting away with something. A researcher named Thomas Borkovec spent his whole career figuring out exactly why worry feels so productive when it solves nothing. His theory has a name, the cognitive avoidance theory of worry, and it is genuinely a little sneaky. Borkovec found that worry is mostly verbal. It's words. It's you, narrating the problem to yourself in tidy little sentences. What if this? Then maybe that. But then I should have said. And here's the trick, the part that actually rewires how you'll see this forever. Those words damp down the scary mental images and the physical fear sitting underneath them. Think about the difference. Picturing your boss actually firing you, seeing the face, feeling the drop in your stomach. That hits like a truck. But talking to yourself about whether you might get fired? That's just a low hum. Manageable. So when you worry in words, you never feel the full gut punch of the thing you're scared of. Worry feels like it's protecting you, because in the moment, it kind of is. It's a buffer. It keeps the real feeling at arm's length. But that's the trap. Because you never actually feel the fear, your brain never gets to process it, sit with it, and finally file it away as handled, you survived this. So the alarm never turns off. You're not solving the problem. You're keeping it on a low, endless simmer and calling it solving. It's the emotional equivalent of holding a door shut all night so the monster can't get in, instead of just opening it and finding out there's no monster. Okay, but WHY, can't you just stop? Why can't you go, you know what, I'll figure it out tomorrow, and actually mean it, and actually sleep? There's a missing piece, and a researcher named Michel Dugas built a whole model around it. It's called intolerance-of-uncertainty. Dugas' research found something that flips what most people assume. The people who overthink the most aren't the people with the biggest problems. They're the people who can least tolerate not knowing. For them, an open question, an unanswered text, an undecided choice, a wait. What did they actually mean by that? Doesn't just feel annoying. It feels genuinely unbearable, like an itch deep under the skin that the brain absolutely refuses to leave alone. Watch how this builds a loop. Picture the decision spiral. You're trying to pick, take the new job or stay. So you list the pros, then the cons. Then you imagine taking it and it going badly, then staying and regretting it. Then you go back to the pros, except now there's a new one. Then you open a new tab to research it, which gives you 4 more things to be unsure about. 3 hours gone. You are not 1 inch closer to a decision. You are just more tired, holding more open questions than you started with. And this is the engine of the whole thing. The threat simulator promises that if you just think hard enough, long enough, you'll finally reach certainty. You'll know. So you keep feeding it, chasing that little hit of, okay, now I'm sure. But here's the cruel part. Most modern worries, what they really meant, how the thing will go, whether you made the right call, cannot be solved by thinking. The information isn't in your head. It's in the future or in someone else's head, or it flat out doesn't exist yet, so you can't reach certainty. But the simulator can't tolerate uncertainty, so it loops, forever, pointed at a target that, by definition, cannot be hit by aiming harder. And you know exactly what this looks like, because you've lived every version of it. It's the text you sent that just says, read 9:42 p.m., and now you're forensically analyzing the last 3 things you said, wondering which one did it. It's the work decision you've remade 11 times in your head, where each version feels right for about 90 seconds before flipping. It's the, what did they mean by that? Where someone said one slightly odd sentence, and your brain has now written a 6-season drama about it. It's lying flat on your back at 2 a.m, rerunning a plan you already finalized, looking for the flaw, finding nothing, and somehow taking that as proof you must be missing something. It's the thing you said 9 years ago that nobody else on Earth remembers, that your brain still likes to play back, in HD, for fun. Different scenes, same machine. Every one of them is the threat simulator, doing its job on a target it can never actually finish. Quick one, I have to know. What's your brain's favorite thing to loop on at 2 a.m? The text? The decision? The thing from 9 years ago? Drop it in the comments. Misery loves a comment section, and honestly, so do I. So here's the twist I promised you at the very top. Remember the open question. What is your brain trying to protect you from, and why won't it stop even when there's nothing left to protect? Here it is. The scene already aired. The conversation ended. The email sent. The decision is made. The danger, if there even was one, already passed. But the threat simulator doesn't run on what's happening. It runs on what could happen, and could never ends. There's always another version, another angle, another what if. You can't finish simulating a threat that has no edges, so your brain isn't malfunctioning when it keeps you up. It's doing its own job perfectly, scanning for threat, rehearsing the worst case, refusing to power down until it's certain you're safe. It's just pointed at a stage where the show is already over. You're running a 100,000-year-old survival system, flawlessly, against an enemy that left the building. And that reframe changes everything. You're not anxious because you're weak. You're not overthinking because you're broken or too sensitive. You are running elite survival hardware, the exact equipment that kept your entire ancestral line alive, at full power, aimed at a problem that thinking cannot solve. That's not a defective brain. That's a magnificent one, slightly confused about what century it's in. So what do you actually do with the simulator? Quick reality check first. This is a psychology channel for curious humans, not therapy, and I'm a guy with doodles, not your doctor. If the loop is genuinely running your life, talk to someone real. Okay, the trick isn't to fight the simulator. It's older and stronger than your willpower, and fighting it just gives it another threat to chew on. The trick is to ask it one question. Is this a problem I can solve by thinking, or a problem I can only solve by doing, waiting, or letting go? Because the simulator genuinely cannot tell the difference. That's the whole bug. It treats, should I text her back, and is there a tiger in that grass, as the same 5-alarm fire. So you have to be the one who checks the target. If thinking can solve it, great, think, then act. If it can't, and most loops can't, then every extra lap isn't preparation. It's just the alarm running in an empty building. Naming it helps too, more than it has any right to. The next time it starts, you get to go, ah. That's the threat simulator, scanning a stage where the show already ended. And weirdly, just seeing the wheel for what it is, labeling it instead of riding it, slows it down, so. You still can't stop overthinking. Probably won't, fully. That hardware isn't going anywhere, and honestly, you don't want it gone. The same simulator that keeps you up at night over nothing is the one that'll spot the real danger when it actually, finally shows up. But now, when your brain lights up at 11 at night and insists it's helping, you'll know the truth. It is trying to help. It's just guarding a room that's already empty. And you can finally tell it, good job, buddy. Show's over. You can power down. If your brain feels a little less broken than it did 12 minutes ago, subscribe. That's exactly what we do here, one confusing brain habit at a time. Next episode, we're cracking why you can scroll your phone for 2 hours and somehow feel worse than when you started. Your dopamine has some explaining to do. See you there.